Jailer Rock percent off collector, and we're here with another Transformers unboxing and review. And look what we got here. Now this is a KO, man, because I can't afford the real thing, but it's a really nice KO, and it's the first KO that I actually got in the full box, which just looks sweet. I mean, and it's huge. It's so fun. I'm geeking out. So we're gonna open this thing up, and guess what? I got this at a crazy price, and there's a story behind it. So let's head to the photo booth. Quickly before we begin, I know all the YouTubers say it, but we're trying to reach 500 subscriptions. So if you like this video, please consider giving us a like, comment, sub, and hit that notification button because we're doing videos every single week. At least 2, most of the time 3. Thanks a lot. Here we are at the new photo box, which I'm glad that I have because it's large enough to hold this. And that was one of the things I was working my way up to. Just behind the curtain, a lot of times I was just using a sheet. I learned that from Dan Larson, Toy Galaxy, Secret Galaxy, where just like construction paper, crafting paper, and you can make a pretty nice background. But I like to take pictures for different things, besides even, you know, toys and other things as well. And I do some selling on the side, so I use that as well. So I was like, you know what? Let me upgrade and get like a really large one. I got this off of Amazon. It was actually on sale. It was only like $59. So if anyone's interested, I could put that in the comments so you can see where to get it, because it's just nice. I like it because I can break this down and put it away, and I can fold it up. I could take it different places, and it makes a really bright light. So I really only need this light in order to do like reviews and stuff. I don't have to have like 15 lights shining on it. So of course, let me know if you do like the way that this looks as well, because I'm always trying to improve how things look. And you can see my pictures on Instagram at percent off collector. So let's get to this one. So this was actually the last thing I got from Temu. If anyone doesn't know about Temu, just quickly, it's a place out of China. They have a whole bunch of knockoffs. So this is a knockoff, and they had games where you basically beg and bug your friends to join the app so that they can say we have 50 billion users, even though it's probably a bunch of fake emails, because they don't even do email verification. But back in the day, and I'm talking about a year or so ago, you were able to get a lot better items if you played that game. And I was able to get basically all my knockoff combiners. And one day I'm going to do a show, because I was collecting all of them. And I think besides Predaking, this was the second to last one. So this was one of the last items that I won, and they actually ended up sending it, but I never got it. I never got any notification. So I had to fight with it. And then they ended up like giving me like a credit that was worth what this was, which was I think $60 something. And then after that, it ended up that they just delivered it to the wrong complex. So they sent it to the wrong complex. They ended up sending this to me later, and I ended up getting this bad boy basically for free, and then getting another item for free. So hey, free 99, I got no problem with that. So I really like this because all the other combiners that I got were just in a bag. So they didn't come in the box like this. So this is actually the first one that I've gotten that has been like the whole box. So I'm not going to keep it. I'm not a box keeper. But I was just happy that I actually was able to have it shipped in the box. And it just meant that it was going to come with a lot less problems or issues. Because sometimes when it comes in the bag, Temu can be iffy on shipping. So we got Hunger, we got Cutthroat, Blot, Ripper Snapper, and Sinner Twin. So without further ado, let's open this bad boy up, because I love me some combiners. Oh, it's that styrofoam. I'm gonna have to do one of these. Slide out and then slide back in. And in the meantime, I knew something else fell out, and it was the little packing inside. So I mean, that's kind of one of the ways that you can know something is a knockoff, because it does not, the items itself does not have the rub symbol on it. But I do like that it's easier to see right away, like all the stuff is here. So I'm just gonna take everything out piece by piece to start with. And to be honest, I haven't had any problems with these knockoffs. Only one I ever had an issue was Swoop. But even the regular G1 has had issues with the wings breaking off or something like that. You know what? I'm gonna use a little scissors to get in there just to make it easier on me. Otherwise, I'll be here all day. And I really like the color scheme as well. That was another reason why I wanted this. Just because the colors on it just look sweet. Oh my god, some of these are like really in there. And it's like, regardless, free or not, I don't want to break it. And you never know. With anything, it can break. But especially if you're doing a KO. I think this one I'll use the back hole to push it out. Which I know that's why they put it there. And I could have done that for all of them. Alright, so I apologize for all that noise in there, but now we have it all out and we can go through each of the parts here. I mean, that's one good thing about it, is to know that it's complete, because you can basically just look at it as soon as you get it in the box. Oh shoot, I messed up. That's my, I mean, I don't do stickers anyway, but I realized I punctured one of the stickers here. That's my fault. But you can see here that it comes with the stickers. I'm probably, honestly, the only thing I'm probably going to do is put on maybe a Decepticon symbol and the rub symbol. That's about it. It has the instructions, which again looks old school, even though it's not. I'm going to be using either EM Go 316 or Toys R Us for my transformation. So then we have some more stickers here. Look at that, a whole bunch of Decepticon stickers. We got more stickers here, and I have a whole bag of these. Like basically almost none of my G1 knockoffs I have put the stickers on. Then we have the decoder, and then we have each of the rub symbols. So all those will go in my bag with all the other ones. And then we have the little accessories as far as the different guns it comes with. And like when it comes in the bag and not the box, a lot of it's kind of thrown in, so it makes it harder to separate it. So I do appreciate that when they send it in the box, everything is separated. It's easier to identify. So I give them that. I mean, as knockoffs go, I've been really pleased with all of it. So here's the main gun for Abominus. Gigantic gun. Of course, his feet. Chest plate. And head. Alright, so let's go through each one of these, basically already in its I guess you'd say monster mode. So Ripper Snapper, you can see here, and you know, the G1, so you're not, you know, if anyone's not familiar with G1, you're not going to get a lot of articulation. It's a lot of simple transformations, which again is good for me because I'm terrible at transformations. You can see here that they'll even put like it's old school. But I mean, most of the time people can tell. Never try to sell a knockoff as legit. I mean, I've seen that on eBay, Facebook. It's terrible. Like, don't do that to people. Like if you're gonna sell it, be honest with people. But here you can see, you know, you can move the arms, move the legs, but very, very, very simple there as far as that. And then this was the one that the head came up a little bit earlier. So this is Center Twin, obviously because of the twin heads. I think I saw on the basics, Transformers the Basic with Chris McFeely, where they were saying like I think each head doesn't like the other one. Little styrofoam there. So again, very basic articulation here. I mean, you can move the tail, you can move the legs, but you're not going to get much. I mean, and most of these transformations are really easy. It's just I like to use the, go to Toys R Us, people like that, just because it's just quicker, it's simpler, and I can make sure I get things right as I learn. I mean, eventually I'll get good and I'll start doing myself, but that's not right now. So we got this one, Cutthroat, and this is interesting. They do have the little swivel head, so that's cool. The bird, of course, you can see like where the hands, arms would be. You got the legs, you got the wing movement, and let me say, like I said, as far as the knockoff, it feels good. Like when I move the parts, they don't feel like super loose. They don't feel like super cheap. Actually feels decent to me. And then this one is Blot. And you can see basically here, I think this form was up. I thought it was this way. Looking at, could be wrong. I'll see when I transform it, but I mean, you can see it's monster mode right there with the claws and everything. I do like the purple. I don't know. I always like the purple colored Transformers. So that's cool. And then, of course, you got the big boy here, Hunger. I wonder, was this the one that had the fighting heads? I forgot, but you can see right there, that's part of the transformation. So of course this is the main body, and mainly it's going to be like that. You plug in the feet there, and then plug in the arms here, and then I mean you can see like that's going to be one robot mode, and then you put the head on. So you can see like it's not anything crazy as far as putting it together. I do like that sound though. That sound with the when you're moving the legs and stuff like that. So I do appreciate that. That's cool. Looks like you can have the legs out like this. And then it's basically like that as far as the beast mode. So, very cool, very cool. Alright, so let's get these transformed into their robot modes, and then we'll go from there. Alright, and here they are in their robot modes, and as I said, none of these had difficult transformations. It was just more that a lot of it is stiff at first. Like, for instance, with this guy here, okay, pulling this head back at first was super hard. Like, now it seems to be a little bit loosened up, but man, when I first did it, I was sure it was gonna break. And that's one of the things with, I mean, it happens with any, if you watch enough reviews, you'll hear people that had issues with breakage no matter what. So it's just a thing to consider. But especially if you're getting a knockoff, you want to be extra careful, just because it's like, the quality could be a little bit less. So you never know. But most of these, the transformations are very simple. They got the little stubby arms that basically just fold out. You basically just fold all the monster legs, arms back, and then usually fold up tails and heads. And that's pretty much the same for everything. Depending on some of them, actually you need the legs to help it stand. For this guy here particularly. But for some of the others like this, it really does seem to stand on its own without too much problem. So that's no problem. And then you can see they have really small hands. Now, on a lot of the monster modes, you can put like a weapon on top, like usually on their back. But most of the time, in order to fit it into their hands, it's usually just the ones that have the smaller pegs. Like this one here, I mean, I don't even know if that fits. Like this one is small enough that this will fit into the hands, but most of these, they can't even do the hand modes, guns in the hands. But you can see again here, just really like everything is just fold arms back, fold legs back, turn head up, that kind of transformation. And like I said, with this one, it needed a little help. It's not, the base isn't bad for sitting, but I noticed that sometimes it did lean back. So if you put the, usually the transformation is like higher up, but if you put it there, it helped me stand it up better. And again, look at those tiny little arms, like T-Rex arms. They all got T-Rex arms. Same thing with here, just pulling the head down, pulling the wings back, legs back, just sitting on a little base. I mean, you can see the plugs in already. Very, very basic. And then of course you got the big guy in the back. And I think I had the legs kind of spread like this just because I thought it looked better than being wider. But I guess technically it could be where in its robot mode, it's like they're closer together like that. So that was a thing that I did a little bit different. Again, very simple to transform. On this one, of course, there's a lot of different things that you can place, like the chest plate on. Like you can put the chest plate on him early. It looks kind of weird. It's like extra big. I think also you can put it on the side here, so you can take that out. Is it on this one? Yeah. So it's like you can do like a shield thing where it's like on his side or just for storage. But you can see overall that's basically how they do it as far as as far as being able to store different weapons. So of course his hands are a little bit bigger, but you can see like most of the weapons, like that one, that's the size that can fit in that hand, because you can see his hand slot's a little bit bigger. But and then there's just other places where you can just put different weapons on the when they're in their beast mode. But for the most part, when they're in the robot mode, they're not really holding a lot of the weapons that come with it, which is kind of interesting. Like this one is another small gun, so I think that this would fit. Let me just try real quick. Yeah, see, so that'll fit in their hand because it's got the little thing, but it even looks weird because their hands or arms are just so short and so small. All right, but now we're here for what we all came for, and that's for Abominus. So let's get that together. All right, behold Abominus. So this is how he looks in his combined mode, and as you can see, all the parts were able to fit in good, except I did have a little issue. And it's funny because when I was reading about this issue occurs not just with the knockoffs, but on the main one. On this side here, and here I can show you, one of the little thong things, let's see if that shows you in there. I don't know if you can see it, but one of them popped out. And it was a little bit small before that, and I was trying to adjust it, so that little piece popped out. But funny enough, I wasn't able to fit it before that, but now with it out, I am able to fit it in. Now, honestly, I'm going to keep all this stuff combined. I'm not really going to be breaking it down into pieces or anything like that, so it doesn't bother me that much, but it's just something to be aware of. I mean, it can happen with the real G1, it can happen with knockoffs, so, you gotta be careful. In this case, it's also about the price point. I mean, that's one of the reasons why for some of these old G1s, I don't mind getting a knockoff, because if I was to go and buy a legit one on like eBay or something, I'd pay so much money and could easily end up getting something that either is broken or breaks immediately. So let me just zoom in so you can just see a little bit more closely of how it looks. So there's different things you can do to kind of clean how this looks in the back. You can play around with that. But for the most part, most of these G1s are going to look like that. You can see with the chest plate, if I can speak, connected, how that looks. And the arms and limbs are interchangeable, so you can switch these around. That's pretty much the same MO on all of them. Now this gun here can hold in the regular mode of this guy, or you can as the main gun for Abominus. So That was one thing I didn't put for hunger. I didn't put the gun on this gun on him, but it can fit into his hand. So you can see basically it already came with that wide stance, and I kind of like that better for the Hydra, even though I know what, you know, playing games and watching old fantasy movies that the heads were together. But you need this wide stance when it's in Abominus mode so that you can have enough space for the legs. And I kind of like the fact that his head, the heads for hunger actually end up kind of sticking out here, because it kind of almost takes away from the robot section down here, and it just looks like an extra monster aesthetic, which I think is cool. Obviously, with a lot of these G1s, the back is always going to look funny. So you can see you got all the stuff, the kibble, all the extra pieces. On the arms itself, doesn't really look bad. I kind of like the way that the wings look on his arm. I admit for him, I was about to say whippersnapper, but for whippersnapper, basically, it does kind of look weird. It kind of looks like, you know, a lizard crawled up his arm and he just said screw it and left it there. But, you know, hey, I digress. It still is cool. But overall, I am happy with this. And as I said, I have a lot of the other combiners. Let me see if I can just grab one real quick to show the comparison in size. So here is Computron from the Technobots. So I could put him as a comparison. So you can see there, basically the same sizes. I think Superion is a little bit taller. I think Devastator is also a little bit taller. Bruticus. Let me see. I think I can grab Bruticus real quick. Let's see next to Bruticus. So Bruticus is a little bit smaller. So that's interesting. And that's another reason why I like to collect these, so that I can kind of compare them and all that, because I never had all this when I was a kid. And to try to collect this like G1, it would be so much money. But yeah, so wow, it's interesting. Bruticus is actually kind of smaller, even though you would think of him being like the bigger of the two. And I realized, I'm pretty sure I have his leg here backwards, but that's not a problem. I think so. But I can fix that. But I mean, this is why I got this, because I always loved these as a kid. You know, I got a lot of secondhand toys, so I got, you know, little pieces. I might have one here, one there, but I never got anywhere close to being able to build all of them. So, you know, it's nostalgia, it's all that built in. So I love to have this now as part of my combiner collection. So thanks for geeking out with me as I opened this up and had a lot of fun, and I really hope that you had fun watching this as well. Hey, thanks for checking out the channel, and if you like what you've seen, please consider giving us a like, comment, a sub, all that stuff. It really helps the algorithm as we try to make a push to reach out to more collectors that, like me, like to get that discount. Because you know how I say, no discount, no deal. Alright, catch you later.